The calm at Heartland is gone. A shadow moves through the ranch, unseen but deeply felt. Every rustle of leaves, every creak of a gate, every nervous glance of the horses whispers the same truth. Danger is here. Harper isn't just testing them anymore. He's coming for everything. And episode 7 promises a storm that will change Heartland forever. Trust will be tested, secrets will surface, and the family will realize that their home is no longer just a sanctuary, it's a battlefield. Morning arrives over Heartland, but it carries no peace. The sun rises slowly, painting the fields gold, yet the warmth feels hollow, a fragile cover over the tension that grips the ranch. Amy moves among the horses, her hands steady, but her mind restless, replaying every clue, every symbol left behind by Harper. Spartan lifts his head, sensing her unease, his gaze heavy, as if he shares her worry. Jack watches quietly from the barn door, noticing the tightness in her jaw, the way she pauses, listening to the wind as though it might carry a message. Even the youngest foals seem to sense it, nudging nervously at each other, ears flicking toward every sound. Amy's thoughts are a storm of doubt and determination. Harper's presence, though invisible, is felt in every corner of the ranch. She recalls the carved symbol on the north fence post, fresh and deliberate, a warning etched into their land. The realization hits her harder with each passing minute. This isn't just intimidation, it's strategy. Someone is studying them, mapping their routines, learning how they live, where they are vulnerable, and they're not stopping. She thinks of the feed switch, caught just in time, the abandoned logging road showing tracks of an intruder, and the red camera light blinking in the distance. Every small act of sabotage adds up, revealing a mind calculating, patient, and relentless. Lou is already awake, sifting through files and records, connecting dots that seem random, but together sketch a pattern of calculated attacks Clayton was never acting alone. Harper, the name whispered in fear across the region, is orchestrating something much larger. Amy knows that if Harper succeeds, Heartland could be lost, not just the land, but the trust, the family, the legacy built for generations. Jack steps closer, his presence steadying her. He doesn't need words. The strength in his posture, the certainty in his gaze, reminds her that they aren't powerless. Still, the worry lingers. The stakes have never been higher, and the enemy is clever, hidden behind a veil of anonymity, striking from shadows. The family convenes in the kitchen, papers and maps spread across the table, each corner marked with incidents from nearby ranches. Lou explains how patterns emerge, how Harper targets not just property, but the very rhythm of their lives. Every stolen moment of peace, every threat left in the night, is a calculated push toward fear. And fear, if unchecked, can fracture even the strongest families. Amy's hands tremble slightly as she touches the maps, realizing the danger is bigger than they imagined. This isn't just a battle for land, it's a battle for the soul of Heartland. Meanwhile, Lindy senses the tension more clearly than anyone else. Her small voice, asking questions, drawing near to Amy, highlights the stakes in the simplest form. Safety isn't abstract. It's tangible, immediate. Amy kneels beside her daughter, promising protection, but the cracks of fear in her voice betray her own anxiety. The horses mirror that unease, their movements cautious, ears constantly swiveling, hooves stirring the dust of a ranch that feels less like home and more like a trap. Nathan's return adds complexity. He stands beside Amy, apologetic for past secrets, but now revealing truths that shake the foundation of trust. His knowledge of Harper's patterns, his quiet hints of a deeper conspiracy, bring clarity and terror. The sun climbs higher, casting long shadows across Heartland, and every shadow feels heavy with intent. The family works in silence, but it's a silence that hums with anticipation. Every creak of the barn door, every shifting breeze through the trees is amplified in their minds. They are aware now that Harper isn't a distant threat. He is close, calculating, and patient. Amy realizes that every small precaution they take, every lock secured, every eye turned toward the horizon, is part of a game being played by someone who knows them, knows the land, knows the horses. The day stretches long and tense, building toward inevitable confrontation. By evening, as the sun dips below the horizon, the air at Heartland feels charged, like a wire strung tight, ready to snap at the first spark. And in the quiet moments before night fully falls, the family understands one undeniable truth. Harper is not just coming for Heartland. He's coming for them. If you like, I can continue with Section 2, keeping the same suspenseful, dramatic, and immersive tone for your audience. Night falls over Heartland, and with it, an even heavier tension settles across the ranch. The air seems thicker, charged with anticipation, as if the land itself is bracing for impact. Inside the house, the family moves cautiously, every glance and every whisper measured. Amy sits by the window, watching the darkened tree line, her mind spinning with possibilities. Every shadow seems to stretch longer than it should, every rustle of leaves more deliberate than nature intended. She cannot shake the feeling that eyes are on them. Hidden, calculating, patient Spartan shifts uneasily in his stall, his instincts picking up on the same danger Amy senses, reminding her that even the animals understand what words cannot convey. Nathan paces near the barn, his face drawn, his thoughts heavy. He explains to Jack and Lou that Harper's strategy is precise and layered. This isn't a random attack or a spur-of-the-moment act. Each mark, each tampered feed, each symbol left behind is a message. Heartland is being watched, studied, and judged. The mastermind behind these actions knows the land, the family, and their routines better than they could have imagined. And with each calculated move, Harper is pushing them toward fear. Hoping that tension and uncertainty will weaken them from within, Jack clenches his fists, unwilling to let anger take over, but the weight of responsibility presses heavily on him. Every decision now carries the potential for consequence, and the family's unity is their only shield. Lindy, though small, notices the shifts before anyone else. She watches her mother closely, sensing her worry. When she asks quietly whether Heartland is safe, Amy's smile falters for the briefest moment, betraying the uncertainty she refuses to speak aloud. It is a reminder that Harper's attacks are no longer just about property, they are psychological. The fear he cultivates reaches beyond gates and fences. It touches hearts, tests trust, and challenges the very strength of the family's bond. Amy kneels beside Lindy, reassuring her, but every word carries an undercurrent of tension. Even the simplest actions, like leading Spartan out to graze, become exercises in caution, with Amy scanning the tree line repeatedly, expecting an unseen presence to emerge from the shadows at any moment. Outside, the ranch feels different, as if it has been transformed into a stage for a silent, invisible battle. Tire tracks on the dirt roads, fresh boot prints near the fence, and the red blinking camera hidden in the woods all speak of a deliberate intrusion. Harper is no longer testing boundaries. He is actively learning, mapping Heartland's vulnerabilities, preparing for the next strike. Lou pieces together the records from nearby ranches, finding a disturbing pattern. The attacks follow a timeline, escalating slowly, building fear step by step, each act leaving the ranchers guessing where and when the next disruption will occur. The realization is chilling. Heartland is not just a target, it is the ultimate prize. Harper's obsession with control and revenge has made the ranch the centerpiece of his plan, and his patience is as dangerous as his strategy. The family convenes once more, voices low but urgent. Jack inspects locks, gates, and fences with precision, refusing to leave a single weak point exposed. Nathan points out areas of possible vulnerability, places where Harper might strike again, noting that the intruder's knowledge of the land is intimate, almost uncanny. Every suggestion is weighed carefully, every precaution taken with a sense of gravity that underscores the danger. Amy listens, absorbing every word, every warning, but her thoughts keep drifting to the symbols, the tampered feed, and the red camera light that disappeared as silently as it arrived. Whoever is orchestrating this is meticulous, patient, and confident that they can outmaneuver the family. As the night deepens, a sense of vigilance takes over. The family moves as a unit, aware that Harper's attack is no longer just a possibility, it is imminent. Even in moments of routine, like checking on the horses or locking the gates, every action is performed with caution. The land, once a place of peace and freedom, now feels constricted, alive with threat. Amy's heart pounds as she imagines the enemy watching, studying, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Every shadow could hide a threat. Every sound could signal intrusion. Episode 7 promises to push Heartland to its limits, testing courage, loyalty, and the resilience of a family determined to defend their home. In the quiet of the night, one truth becomes unavoidable. Harper's plan is moving forward, and the family must face the storm he is bringing, together or risk losing everything. Dawn breaks over Heartland, but it brings no relief. The ranch is quiet, yet the silence is oppressive, heavy with the memory of the previous night's unease. Every gust of wind through the trees, every creak of a gate, and every distant animal cry feels amplified, as if warning the family that danger is never far. Amy rises early, drawn to the barn before the sun fully lights the sky. She finds Spartan restless, pawing at the ground and shifting uneasily. His behavior mirrors her own inner tension, alert, anxious, ready for the unknown. She whispers reassurances, though her voice is more for herself than the horse, as she scans the perimeter of the ranch with practiced eyes, searching for the slightest anomaly. Nathan appears soon after, his steps quiet on the gravel. He shares what he discovered during his early rounds: subtle signs of movement near the eastern pasture, footprints that don't belong to anyone on the ranch, and a faint, almost imperceptible disturbance in the soil where someone may have tested the boundaries. His tone is calm, but carries a weight that presses on Amy's chest. This isn't random vandalism. Harper is testing them, measuring reactions, looking for weaknesses, and proving that he can appear anywhere he chooses without notice. Amy feels a cold dread. The poison incident, the barn symbol, the tampered feed, all were preludes. Now, Harper's true intentions are starting to reveal themselves. The family gathers once more, huddled around the table with maps, notes, and photographs. Lou explains that Harper's strategy spans beyond Heartland. Nearby ranches have been attacked in the same pattern. Subtle intimidation first, followed by increasingly aggressive actions designed to destabilize the owners. Each act leaves behind a trail of fear and uncertainty, and Amy realizes the psychological warfare is just as dangerous as any physical threat. Jack paces silently, checking locks and fences, his mind methodical, his body tense. Every detail matters now. One missed precaution could give Harper the advantage he's been waiting for. Even Lindy senses the growing tension. She clings to Amy, asking questions she barely understands, but senses the seriousness behind them. Amy crouches beside her, brushing her hair back and promising safety, though she knows there is no guarantee. The innocence of childhood clashes with the reality of the threat, and Amy feels the burden of protecting not only Heartland, but also the peace of her daughter's world. The ranch, once a place of freedom and joy, now feels like a fortress, every open space a potential danger, every shadow a possible intruder. The afternoon brings no relief. Nathan and Jack walk the property, inspecting every corner, every fence line, every path that could offer Harper access. Amy joins them, noticing details she might have overlooked before: the subtle impressions in the soil, a broken twig, a fresh set of tracks leading toward the back fields. She realizes Harper is meticulous, patient, and intelligent. He doesn't just want to intimidate, he wants to dominate, to prove that no place is safe from his reach. The realization is chilling, but it also sparks determination. Heartland has survived storms, fires, and tragedies before. They cannot let this shadow overtake them. As evening falls, the sun dips low behind the hills, casting long shadows across the property. Every sound is magnified: the distant call of an owl, the shifting of leaves, the soft snort of a horse. Amy and Nathan walk together near the north fence, finding fresh signs of intrusion. A recently carved mark identical to the barn symbol, footprints leading toward the woods, and subtle signs that someone has been observing them. Each discovery tightens the knot of fear in Amy's stomach, yet also strengthens her resolve. Harper is hunting them, watching, calculating. But Heartland is not an easy target. The family's bond, their knowledge of the land, and their unwavering determination are all forces Harper has yet to fully understand. Night finally arrives, thick and heavy, and the ranch falls into a tense quiet. The family remains alert, taking turns monitoring the property, every glance and movement calculated. Amy stands near the barn door, listening, scanning, sensing the rhythm of the night like a horse senses a predator. Spartan shifts beside her, restless, alert, mirroring her own anxiety. Nathan checks the perimeter one last time before dusk, his eyes catching the faint glow of a light in the distance. Another camera, another warning. Amy swallows hard. Knowing this is only the beginning, Harper isn't stopping. He's moving forward, and Heartland must prepare for what comes next. Episode 7 is not just a continuation of tension, it's the point where the family realizes the true magnitude of the threat, and the fight to protect their home has only just begun. The night deepens over Heartland, and the ranch feels smaller, tighter, as if every corner is pressing inward, watching, waiting. Inside the house, the family is restless, yet cautious. Conversations are whispered, every word measured, even the smallest noise. A creaking floorboard, the clink of a bucket, draws immediate attention. Amy stands by the window, peering into the darkness, her hands gripping the sill, her heart pounding. The wind brushes against the trees, carrying a faint rustle that sets Spartan on edge. He lifts his head, ears pinned forward, eyes sharp, alert. Amy whispers softly, trying to calm him, but she knows this isn't just instinct. It's warning. Something is out there, something calculating, patient, and silent, observing every move they make. Nathan joins her quietly, his expression tense. He shares what he discovered while checking the perimeter again. Faint tire tracks in the soft earth, fresh footprints near the back fields, and subtle signs of someone tampering with the fencing. Each detail confirms a chilling reality. Harper is not only watching Heartland, he's learning it, studying it, testing every boundary, every routine, every reaction. The family isn't just being threatened, they're being hunted. Amy swallows hard, the weight of that word pressing into her chest. Hunted, she repeats in her mind, and the term feels too sharp, too real. Jack arrives behind them, silent, his presence grounding but heavy with worry. Every instinct he has, honed through years of storms, tells him the same thing. Heartland is in serious danger. Inside, Lou is surrounded by papers, maps, and reports. Her brow is furrowed as she pieces together a bigger picture. Harper's attacks are methodical, strategic, and deeply personal. He isn't interested in chaos alone. He wants control. The farms and ranches targeted before Heartland were only practice, stepping stones, testing grounds for the real objective. Harper has been studying Heartland for months, mapping its vulnerabilities, waiting for the perfect moment to strike decisively. Every subtle disruption, the tampered feed, the carved symbols, the hidden cameras, is part of a larger plan. And now, Heartland is in the center of it. Lou's hands tremble slightly as she realizes the scope of what they're facing. This is more than property or business. It's a war, one designed to break their unity, their trust, and their spirit. Even Lindy senses the tension. She hovers near Amy, asking quiet questions about safety, about the strange occurrences she has noticed. Amy crouches beside her daughter, brushing hair from her face, promising protection, yet the truth gnaws at her. Heartland's home is no longer simply a safe place. It has become a battlefield. Every sound, every shadow, every movement outside carries a weight of uncertainty. The family must remain vigilant, but vigilance is exhausting, and the burden is shared unequally across hearts and minds. The evening drags on with a slow, suffocating weight, each moment stretching longer than the last. As darkness blankets the ranch, a sudden noise shatters the tense quiet. A loud bang echoes from the western pasture, sharp and deliberate. Lindy grabs Amy's hand, eyes wide with fear. Jack moves immediately, flashlight in hand, stepping toward the sound with a steady determination born of years protecting this land Amy follows. Spartan close by, alert, hooves stirring the dirt. The western gate stands open, wide, though she remembers locking it herself. Heavy boot prints lead away into the woods, deep and deliberate. A message left in plain sight. Harper is making his presence known, testing boundaries, taunting them, proving he can appear and disappear at will. Lou whispers that it's exactly what they feared. Harper wants them tense, unsettled, distracted, ready to fracture under pressure. Amy squares her shoulders, taking a deep breath as she surveys the scene. Heartland has survived fires, storms, floods, and betrayals, and it will survive this. But Harper's intelligence, patience, and calculated cruelty cannot be underestimated. He is no longer testing. He is advancing. Episode 7 pushes the family and the audience into a world of strategy, fear, and uncertainty where every action has consequences, every moment is critical, and every shadow could conceal the next strike. The calm they once knew at Heartland has been shattered, replaced with vigilance, courage, and an unspoken understanding. The fight is far from over, and Harper is just getting started. The night deepens over Heartland, but even in darkness, the tension refuses to fade. Every corner of the ranch seems alive with watchful eyes, every shadow a silent threat. Amy stands near the barn, Spartan close by, sensing the same unease that tightens her chest. Nathan checks the perimeter one last time, his face grim, aware that every precaution they've taken may still not be enough. Jack moves steadily through the property, inspecting fences, gates, and the faint tracks left by Harper's intrusion, a reminder that the enemy is patient and meticulous. Inside, Lou reviews the files once more, piecing together patterns that span months, maybe years. Harper's plan is precise and personal, targeting Heartland not just for land, but for control, revenge, and power. The family's unity is their only weapon, yet the weight of constant vigilance presses down on each of them. Even Lindy, small and innocent, feels the tension and clings to Amy, sensing that the world outside their home has shifted into something darker, more dangerous. As the camera, or the audience, lingers over the quiet ranch, one thing becomes chillingly clear. Heartland is no longer a place of simple peace. It has become a stage for a calculated game, where Harper tests boundaries, watches reactions, and waits for the perfect moment to strike. The quiet isn't calm, it's anticipation. The land, the family, and the horses all share a tension that is impossible to ignore. Every creak, every rustle, every flash of movement could signal the next step in Harper's plan, and yet, amidst the fear, there is resolve. Amy's eyes, determined and unyielding, scan the horizon. Jack's presence is steady and protective. Nathan's mind races, strategizing, preparing, alert. Lou's resolve strengthens, knowing the stakes are higher than ever. The family is aware of the storm coming, and while Harper believes he can intimidate, manipulate, and overpower them, he underestimates the bond that Heartland was built on: trust, courage, and unbreakable resilience. Episode 7 promises more than suspense. It delivers a turning point. Harper has crossed the line, moving from warning to action. The question is no longer if Heartland can survive, but how they will respond together when the enemy takes the next step. Every moment counts, every decision matters, and every heartbeat echoes with the knowledge that danger is closer than ever. As the night holds its breath, so does Heartland, readying for a confrontation that could change everything forever.